Oh. This is the one that dominates them all. The king of the competition. The F1 Wagyu Brisket. And we've got our hands on one. So let's get this party started. Having an exceptional cut of beef like this always makes me smile, because having good quality meat is where it all starts. We're going to take this Australian F1 Wagyu brisket out of its package, run the knife through the plastic, open it up, and with a little bit of paper towel we're going to pat it dry. And look at this beautiful brisket. It looks so well marbled and it looks so freaking good. This can only mean one thing. A juicy, tasty brisket. Did you know that this €200 costing brisket, Wagyu brisket I might add, is the most winning brisket in all of Europe's barbecue competition? The reason for that is its beautiful amount of intramuscular fat and its fantastic Wagyu flavor. Basically, it's really hard to screw up this brisket because it will turn out fantastic, but it still needs a little bit of work. I like to trim off the big fatty parts that won't render down while cooking. And besides trimming them off because they won't render down, I also trim them off to make sure that our rub will penetrate into the meat. And don't be worried to trim off too much. You can use the fat that you trimmed off for a burger. I'm going to inspect all sides and make sure that I got a nice clean brisket, as far as you can have one with a beautiful Wagyu brisket like this. Now that we exposed most of the meat of this brisket and trimmed off all floppy little bits, this brisket looks fantastic and ready for its rub. At this point we got two options. Either we're gonna go full-on competition style with big and bold flavors, a lot of paprika powder, or we can choose the classical version, which is my preference. And for our brisket rub, we're using fine salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. And especially for you, we've written down the recipe on our website. Now we're going to season our brisket with that rub. And because we're using fine salt, I just want to sprinkle on a little bit. Make sure you get that brisket rub on all sides. And now that our brisket is ready, let's fire up our burning hot smoker. You can see that the smoke is starting. We're currently running at a temperature of 120 degrees Celsius, which is around 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's close that lid and let our brisket smoke. Our brisket hit a core temperature of 70 degrees Celsius, which is a good marker to take a closer look at it. And I can see that we build up a beautiful color, so it's time to wrap. We are wrapping our brisket in butcher's paper to prevent it from drying out. Now that we got it all packed up, it's time to go back on the smoker and let it smoke to a temperature of 92 degrees Celsius. All right. Paid €200 for a brisket. It's juicy and tender. Well, let's be real. If you pay €200 for a brisket, it better be tender and juicy. So far it looks freaking awesome. We got beautiful smoke ring and we got seasoning on there. You know, the bark just looks amazing, and it's not really a bark made out of rub, but it's a nice outside, a nice crust. But we gotta call it a bark because it's officially not a crust. But the thing just looks so good, so juicy, so tender. I'm salivating. This is a good sign. Smells are good. Let's go for the flat first.
I'm so hungry.
Wow.
Wagyu brisket.
Wow.
So soft.
I totally get it. I totally get why this wins.
Oh man,
If I would be a judge,
that smoke ring. It's so intense.
And if this were a barbecue competition, maybe I would have won.
So, have you ever seen such a distinguished smoke ring?
No injections,
That's heavy.
no heavy rubs,
Oh man,
and you being happy.
that's heavy smoke flavor.
It probably would be the only thing I would not take one bite of, but eat the whole thing.
I'm glad you didn't do the paprika rub.
It's juicy,
I like this way better.
tender,
The yellow pieces in the crust, I don't know why, but it's so appealing.
beautiful smoke ring,
And it is better. It's even better.
perfectly seasoned, not over seasoned, light seasoning.
Hot, hot, hot.
Look at that, it's still dripping.
These kind of pieces, you have so much bark here.
These recordings did take a lot of time, so it's been laying around already for a while. But it's still dripping.
That's the best part.
This thing just keeps on going. It keeps on giving.
Wagyu is worth it.
A nice little bit of pull there.
It's almost good as gold, but I do have to say something about that. About the competition part.
Oh.
Okay, don't get me wrong. This Wagyu brisket is beautiful. It's gold and it's perfect. But I do have one complaint. I have a complaint against the barbecue community. Why does it take a Wagyu brisket to win a barbecue competition? It's that good, but it's the Wagyu, not you. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. A barbecue competition should be about amazing the audience and not just buying a beautiful Wagyu like this and make it the same as you did before. Because, come on, we all know, they repeat it. And then you win a competition. I'm just being critical. It's a beautiful Wagyu and I love it. It should be more about trying to amaze the audience. You let the Wagyu do all the work.
This wins barbecue competitions. Sourcing the right cut of beef, this is part of the competition. You know, we do it here in the videos. It's part of what we do. You gotta source the right meat. You gotta go and figure out which one to have. If you're racing a race competition, you gotta have the right car, the right engine, the right exhaust, the right steering wheel, right tires. This is really, really good beef. This is like, I understand why people win with this. And of course, yeah, it's a little bit unfair. You know, the guy with the biggest pocket can buy the most expensive meat, can win the most competition, but you know, in the end, there's a lot of teams that can do it these days and they have a big budget, so they can afford it. And in the end, it comes down to the skills again. I'd rather just eat my brisket. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, then leave us a big thumbs up and a comment down below. Special thank you to our patrons and our YouTube members. Hope to see you guys next time. Until then,
Eet smakelijk.
and keep on smoking briskets.
Okay, but I do get your point.
I do get your point too. I really understand what you're saying.
And I'm understanding what you're saying.
And I love you, man.
I love you too. But wouldn't it be awesome if it's more about creativity?
Yeah, or about skills.
Yeah.
What if everybody gets the same brisket?
Maybe even a cheap brisket.
Why?
Not a Wagyu.
Well,
In my opinion, Wagyu feels too easy.
too easy. Well, yeah, but then again, brisket is hard to do.
That's true.
I see people smoking brisket on a competition with a pellet smoker, and in the middle of the night when they're sleeping, the power goes down and they end up with nothing.
Yeah.
But then again, oh, you know, I kind of don't really know.